The cameras were rolling, the air thick with anticipation. Across the table sat a MAGA-aligned attorney. Polished suit, smug expression, convinced he was about to dismantle one of Congress's fiercest fighters. His strategy? Rapid-fire accusations, half-truths, and interruptions designed to throw Jasmine Crockett off balance. But what happened next shocked everyone watching. Instead of folding under pressure, Crockett unleashed a calm, devastating dismantling so precise that within minutes, the so-called legal expert was exposed, rattled, and visibly shrinking under the weight of his own contradictions. And here's the kicker. The internet didn't just watch, it erupted. Clips went viral, hashtags trended, and millions saw a black woman stand unshaken against an avalanche of arrogance. And before we dive deep into how Jasmine Crockett flipped this entire exchange on its head, make sure to hit subscribe, smash that like button, and drop a comment with where you're watching from. Because trust me, you're going to want to be part of this conversation. This wasn't just another hearing. The stage was carefully set. The MAGA attorney strutted in, armed with binders and bluster, convinced that his title gave him the upper hand. His allies leaned back in their chairs, smirking, ready to watch a takedown of Jasmine Crockett. But here's what they underestimated. Crockett's history as a defense attorney and civil rights advocate. She knows cross-examination better than most. She knows when someone is bluffing, and more importantly, how to expose it without raising her voice. The opening salvo from the MAGA attorney was predictable. Cherry-picked documents, accusations framed as questions, and repeated attempts to talk over her. It was textbook intimidation, a performance designed for the cameras. What he didn't realize was that Jasmine Crockett had seen this script 1,000 times before, and she had something far more powerful than theatrics, the truth, layered with receipts. As the attorney leaned forward, delivering his smug gotcha line, the crowd thought Crockett might stumble. But instead she smiled. A small, knowing smile that signaled one thing. It was over before it even began. The first few minutes were tense. The attorney barked out accusations about impropriety, waving papers dramatically, trying to bury Crockett under his performance. Each interruption felt deliberate, designed to provoke a reaction. "Answer the question, Miss Crockett. Yes or no?" he demanded, his voice rising. But Crockett wasn't rattled. She leaned back slightly, her posture calm, her tone steady. "I will answer," she replied. "But unlike you, I'll base my response on facts, not fiction." The attorney tried again, this time raising his voice, but Crockett was ready. With surgical precision, she dismantled his claim, citing line by line from his own reference documents. Each time he pushed, she pulled the receipts, and with every point, his confidence cracked just a little more. By the third exchange, he was no longer smirking. His interruptions grew sloppy, his words tangled, and his frustration more obvious. And then came the pivot. The moment Crockett seized control, flipping the entire power dynamic. "You've interrupted me 3 times already," Crockett said, her tone sharpening ever so slightly. "But let's be clear, the record doesn't support what you're saying." She held up the very document he had waved moments earlier. "On page 12, your own source, it says the opposite of what you just claimed. Did you forget to read that part?" The attorney froze. Cameras captured it all. The quick dart of his eyes, the awkward silence, the sudden tightness in his jaw. Laughter rippled quietly in the chamber. Not loud, but enough to be felt. Crockett pressed on, flipping to another page. "And here, page 27, you conveniently left out the section that proves your entire argument collapses. The MAGA attorney opened his mouth, but nothing came out. For the first time, silence wasn't Crockett's burden, it was his. It was in that silence that the audience realized the fight was over. The man who came in swinging had been disarmed, not by anger or volume, but by precision. And Crockett? She wasn't finished. Jasmine Crockett leaned forward now, her eyes locked on her opponent. "This is the problem," she said. "You come in here with bluster, hoping the noise will drown out the facts. But facts have a way of standing on their own. They don't need theatrics, they need truth." The attorney shifted in his chair, fumbling with his notes. He tried to interject, but Crockett raised her hand slightly. "No, you've spoken long enough. Now, let's deal in reality." She delivered the line that would echo across the internet. "You don't win arguments by being the loudest in the room. You win them by being right. And on that count, you lose." Gasps, murmurs, and even a few claps followed. The attorney's face flushed red. He tried to smirk, tried to laugh it off, but the damage was already done. The cameras had captured the moment, the precise second when arrogance collapsed into silence. And Crockett? She simply leaned back, calm as ever, as if to say, "Next." The viral explosion happened almost instantly. Within minutes, clips of Crockett's takedown were everywhere. TikTok stitched her "you lose" line with trending sounds. Twitter erupted with hashtags like Crockett dominates and facts over fury. Commentators across networks replayed the footage, breaking down how the attorney's body language betrayed his collapse. "This wasn't a debate," one analyst said. "It was a dismantling." Even conservative voices struggled to defend him. Some claimed editing bias, others tried to downplay the moment, but the raw footage left no room for spin. The contrast was undeniable: a loud, self-styled MAGA lawyer silenced by the steady voice of truth. What resonated most, though, was Crockett's demeanor. She hadn't shouted. She hadn't mocked. She simply let the facts speak. And in a world where shouting matches dominate the headlines, that calm authority felt revolutionary. For countless viewers, especially women and people of color, the moment carried personal weight. It wasn't just about politics. It was about watching someone stand their ground, refuse to be talked over, and still emerge victorious. By the next morning, the story had traveled far beyond the political bubble. It was water cooler talk, podcast fodder, and late-night comedy gold. The attorney, once so sure of himself, was reduced to a meme, red-faced, silent, defeated. At its core, this moment wasn't just about one hearing or one attorney. It was about the deeper question of what kind of leadership we value. Jasmine Crockett showed that power doesn't come from volume, it comes from truth. That dignity in the face of disrespect is stronger than any insult. That even when the system is stacked with interruptions, dismissals, and arrogance, composure can turn the tables. For millions of viewers, her response was validation. Validation that calm strength matters. Validation that voices too often silenced can and will be heard. And maybe that's why the internet exploded. Because people are tired of the noise, the rage, the endless shouting. What they crave is clarity, and Crockett delivered it. Unshaken, undeniable, unforgettable. So here's the takeaway. You don't need to match arrogance with arrogance. You don't need to meet noise with more noise. Sometimes the most powerful move is to sit in your truth. Lay out the facts, and let the silence that follows say it all. If you believe in leaders like Jasmine Crockett, who stand firm in the face of chaos, then don't just watch. Be part of amplifying this message. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and share this video so more people see what true strength looks like. Because this wasn't just a viral moment. It was a blueprint for how dignity, clarity, and truth win every time.